I'm gonna specifically focus on Tame Impala's song The Less I Know, The Better. Although the way it's sang, it's very important, it's also very crucial to look at the vocal effect and vocal chain to achieve that distinct sound they have. You'll see that it's not only about what you sing, but also how you sing and what kind of vocal effect and vocal sound you apply. Okay, so let's talk briefly about the performance and how to lay the foundation to get you started. So Kevin Parker's performance is very laid back and smooth. His vocal sound is almost like a falsetto, but laid back without belting. Everything sounds very deliberate and not overdone. It's okay to keep your singing a bit more monotone. It has an effect of being a bit hypnotic. It has this trance-like quality to it that I really like. Now let's have a look in Pro Tools and build the vocal chain. Okay, so first let's talk about compression. You want your vocal to be consistent, upfront, but not harsh. A good compressor will even out the dynamics. You want to have a good amount of compression because the vocal are gonna end up sitting back a little bit, but you still want to be able to hear all the details and all the lyrics. You can start with a pretty quick or moderate attack and a quick release and a moderate ratio such as 3:1 or 4:1 ratio, and you're looking for about 3 to 5 dBs of gain reduction.
Someone said them together. I ran out the door to get her. She was holding hands together. Not the greatest feeling ever.
Okay, next let's jump to the EQ. For this I used an SSL channel. The vocals, if you listen to the song, don't have much lows at all. It's a lot of highs and high mids. I ended up filtering out a lot of the lows up to 300, which is a bit aggressive, but I think it works in this situation, and added a bit of high. So here is what that sounds like with a bit of presence boost and mid-range cut.
Someone said them together. I ran out the door to get her. She was holding hands together. Not the greatest feeling ever.
A quick note is I have a DeEsser as a safety. You can see the way it's set. It's not really doing much, but I just kind of like always have a DeEsser just in case. It just grabs a bit of the S's and I don't have to worry about it. Okay, the next thing is where the sound is gonna start coming to life. So I want to create this sort of like chorusy doubling effect on an aux track. I'm gonna have a doubler, a waves doubler, and I'm gonna sort of like bring it in tight a little bit behind the vocal. I don't want it to be completely wide open left right.
Someone said them together. I ran out the door to get her. She was holding hands together. Not the greatest feeling ever.
Now I think what really helps achieve the tone, and I think I'm hearing that in the recording, I'm gonna use a bit of a pitch shift and formant shift. So on the second aux, I have a little alter boy. You set pitch at +12 and formant around +4, and that's also going into a doubler. Doubler, I just use the same setting as I had the previous one, and it worked. This created a bit of a more chorusy, more almost like a flanger effect. I think it works really well, and it's also musical.
Someone said them together. I ran out the door to get her. She was holding hands together. Not the greatest feeling ever.
Next, I wanted to add just a bit of distortion on a separate aux. I blended in a devil lock with the setting bass 6, so that's just this preset as is, and I blended it in. And I think this achieves a pretty good dry tone already.
Someone said them together. I ran out the door to get her. She was holding hands together. Not the greatest feeling ever.
So now that I'm happy with the dry sound, let's start getting things wet. I'm gonna use a different send for all the reverbs and delay and all that because I want to be able to send all my doubles to them. Yeah, so that's the main reason why I'm using a separate send. So first reverb, sort of a long haul reverb. I'm using Reverb with a 30 milliseconds pre-delay and a 3 seconds decay time. I'm doing something a bit different here. I'm going into a compressor after the reverb. This helps squeeze the reverb a bit. It's gonna be a bit more noticeable, add a bit of mid-range, and also it has a bit more impact.
Someone said that together I went out the dirty gutter. She was holding hand together, not the greatest feeling ever.
Okay, next aux, I have a spring reverb. The settings are 90 millisecond pre-delay, 4 seconds decay time. I have a low cut at around 150 hertz.
Someone said that together I went out the dirty gutter. She was holding hand together, not the greatest feeling ever.
Okay, so at this point, I felt like I was missing a bit of harmonizing and a bit of color, so I decided to add another doubler and added some low octaves to it. So this is a pretty cool trick that you can do with Waves doubler. If you just press those arrows down, it gives you the low octaves. Super useful to create a quick effect and add a bit more depth to a sound.
Someone said that together I went out the dirty gutter. She was holding hand together, not the greatest feeling ever.
Now for a bit more spread and make things a bit wider, I'm gonna use a large plate with a 150 milliseconds pre-delay and a 2 second decay time. Having a long pre-delay creates this extra reverb that comes a bit slower and fills in the space without being right on the vocals.
Someone said that together I went out the dirty gutter. She was holding hand together, not the greatest feeling ever.
Next, to add a bit of texture and wobble, I have a J37 tape machine. It's set to the old tape delay setting. I have it also going into a doubler because why not? I like that sound and it's making things even more chorusy and even wider.
Someone said that together I went out the dirty gutter. She was holding hand together, not the greatest feeling ever.
Next, to add a little bit of extra movement, I have an Echo Boy delay set to a quarter note with the verbed style. And I have the delay going into a PanMan and it's going left to right over one bar, just adding that extra movement. I think it's just an extra ear candy. I'm not sure if it's necessary. I just like having a little bit of extra things that if you listen on headphones, you have a bit of extra something that happens.
Someone said that together I went out the dirty gutter. She was holding hand together, not the greatest feeling ever.
I'm pretty happy with the result. The best way to learn this kind of vocal production is to actively listen to tracks like some from Tame Impala's. Try to identify what you're hearing. Hopefully it helps you unlock that dreamy psychedelic vocal tone. I hope you find this video helpful and I'll see you on the next one.